Mr. President, now as amended, Senate Bill 2222 creates another exception to our open records law, and basically what it requires is that currently when a member of the Legislative Assembly requests or does an open records request, the name or the identity of that legislator would not be closed off. That would be a public record that someone could discover if they requested. And so that's the bill as amended. Your Judiciary Committee recommends a due pass, Mr. President, and asks the Senate to follow.
Senator Flacco.
Mr. President, I just want to thank the committee for their work on that. It can be a problem for an agency. Recently there was a open records request that involved more than about 500,000 pages, which would have taken 5,000 hours of redaction and would have cost the taxpayers more than $400,000. And each and every one of us can figure out a better way to spend that than on a fishing expedition, or in some cases we've oftentimes believed that when we're very frank about it, that they're just done for retribution. Certainly I don't think that that's our side of the chamber that's doing that. But that's no different than if you were in a swimming pool and somebody at the far end of the pool follows the pool. It's not like exactly you're safe from anything. And I appreciate that. That's the best I could do with it, Mr. President. I thought about that, and I couldn't say the other word. So, but it's after O in the alphabet. So, Mr. President, I appreciate the work in moving this forward. I think the sunshine will help curb some of those because there's really no agency that can absorb that type of thing that'll help self-police. So I appreciate the work and also would encourage everyone to vote yes because, again, on that particular one, if you took and read 2 pages per minute, spent 8 hours a day reading, read 365 days a year, it comes out to almost 6 years it would take to read that particular open records request. So clearly that was not done for information's sake and for the best interest of the state. So please vote green.
Is there any further discussion? Senator Miller.
Mr. President, I just kind of want to know what's the point to this? If a legislator in the minority party, for example, has a special request to be made and they want some information, are we going to have a public shaming? Why are you asking this information? And then they'll be shamed into redacting the request or retracting the request? I'm voting no.
Senator Judy Lee.
Mr. President, when teachers' salaries are printed in the paper, because that's a public record, when all of the employment interviews and so forth are a part of a matter of public record, excuse me, and when all of the public employees' files are open records, I think that it's not a big deal for me to have my name on a request when I might ask for some records to be done. A teacher in my district, I saw this on the news. I'm watching the 6 o'clock news, and a young reporter has my friend, the teacher's personnel file in her hand at the time that before the school board has even met, and the teacher has not yet been told what the problem is. We have this sunshine law that is absolutely one of the most open in the entire country. So I don't see why we think that there should be any reason why we wouldn't also be supportive of an effort that would only be saying, if I'm asking somebody for something through legislative council, I'm brave enough to put my name on it because we have open meetings here too.
Senator Flacco.
Mr. President, I would add to that we're in that stage now when we're sending bills down to the Appropriations Committee for their consideration, and anything over 5,000 we have to send down there for a wider audience. And as far as I know, this is probably the only place where one individual can spend hundreds of thousands of dollars of taxpayer money without any kind of oversight. So I don't think it's unreasonable to say, if you want to make that request, be brave enough to raise your hand and say, it was me. because what's good for the goose is good for the gander. We as legislators should not have special privileges beyond what the citizens that we represent have. So that is why I think it's important that people stand tall, do not fear the fact that they're making that request, because again, that's what everyone else has to do when they make an open records request.
Senator Miller.
Well, Mr. President, this isn't about bravery. This is about proper oversight and getting the right information. And I just think that this is completely unnecessary. I myself, I would put my name across any request because I don't care if people know. But if you're in a minority situation and you might be publicly shamed or get strong-armed by a leader, that's something that I worry about. Legislators need to be free to access information they need to do their job, and this hampers that. Because we're here to represent the people. That's our job.
Is there any further discussion? Hearing none, the question will be on final passage of Senate Bill 2022. Madam Secretary, open the key. Every member register their vote. Has every member voted? Does any member wish to change his or her vote? Secretary, close the key and take the tally. A tally reveals 44 senators voting yea, 3 voting nay. Senate Bill 2222 has passed. Next bill under consideration on the 11th order will be Senate Bill 2174. Madam Secretary.